There was a clear ecology filter with Karen because she already described a physiological response, which she does not want to repeat. She wants a preemptive signal not to have that experience. I didn't detect, I considered it with Dimitri, a question of exposure, you know, how vulnerable does he make himself as he approaches? Again, these decisions are being made as much at the unconscious level in me as they are in the clients that are working. And from the way he's responded since, I agree with my decision not to bother. I didn't have any question about him. So it's there. If there's any question that comes up in your mind about could this expose the person to physiological conditions or physiological neurological responses which may be problematic, then you slam that in. Okay. And again, so much of this is experienced by calibration. There she is.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
My question is about the natural signals that we have.
What I'm calling natural signals.
In the sense that if, for example, it was the client had fear and felt fear in the throat, you would use that as the subconscious signal.
I could. Depends upon how uncomfortable the signal is. If she had had a stomach ache because she ate too much of a certain kind of fat a half hour ago, I would remove that because it's a barrier to her having full exposure to the sensations in her body, which I'm interested in engaging.
Okay.
I understand that that's what she doesn't want. Well, then let's get rid of it temporarily, just as I did with Elizabeth Ann. She said, I have pain. I said, unconscious, could you demonstrate for her and for us that you have the option of removing the pain that you normally impose, which is part of the issue of the trade that's going on here, for a temporary period of time. I'm not intruding on the relationship between her and her unconscious. I'm saying for a limited period of time to demonstrate that this is a possibility. And within what, minute and a half, she was pain-free.
Okay.
So you can do remarkable things. There's the word synesthesia should be part of your repertoire. Synesthesia, if you're not watching and I make a sudden clap, you give a startled response, or a horn goes off, or somebody throws a cup of cold water in your face, you're going to have sensations which are not the direct counterpart of the channel in which the experience occurred. For example, you go to a concert and you close your eyes, you begin to sway your body to the music. So you're translating an auditory experience into a kinesthetic experience. That's synesthesia. So synesthesia is where an input channel, pick your channel, leads to, connects with, and expresses itself in an internal representation, which is not the match. So yeah, you hear the music, but when you feel the music, you're going to synesthesia. You're going from an auditory to a kinesthetic response. And synesthesia, I think, is such a deep and important part of art. What's a painter trying to do when he or she is painting? What's a musician trying to do when he or she are creating music? And the answer is complex. And it certainly involves, in my opinion, in the best of cases, synesthesia. This should be part of what you're doing. So you could propose, if she had trouble with some sensation that was interfering, blocking access to what we wanted to do, you could propose, could you, for example, change the sounds internally to replace the tension that's presently occurring here temporarily? And again, you are respectful of interfering with these extended complex relationships, which you don't know anything about, in order to clear the channels so you can use them for signals. So you can use them to allow the person to know what's going on inside of their body. And it doesn't necessarily involve pain. So that's one kind of filter. The other kind of filter is this more general one where you say in inventorying, scanning, and selecting material from the archives. Use your best, and you're better at this than I know how to instruct you, unconscious. Use your best tools to do this. You have this access, go do it. Now, when you bring it forward and you put it into the trial and error so that the person begins to explore by trial and error how this is going to work, what the consequences are, whether this is acceptable, etc. Be alert so that if any of the solutions that you're testing interferes with some complex unconscious process, which is necessary for health and stability, you stop it, remove it, and replace it with something else from the archive. That's that's a very general ecology filter. If you get a involuntary yes response to that, then you've protected the person from that eventuality. And so those are the two kinds of things that I recommend you have in your pocket and you're alert for, so that you are protecting the integrity of these complex relationships at the unconscious level. Look, your unconscious keeps you alive and makes your life worth living. I mean, think of all the things that you have no conscious ability to control or to change. Who's running the show? That's why we go to the unconscious as the access point for these complex unconscious processes. Because if we can get with involuntary signals, so we know it really is the unconscious, if we can get the endorsement, the promotion, the request, the direct interference in these complex processes, we can change things quite rapidly and ecologically. Okay, where am I on time? Is Michael here in the room? Yeah. It's 3 o'clock? Okay, so I'm thinking I would like to do another set of demonstrations. I think the more demonstrations you get, the more variations will occur and the more possibilities you'll have to explore. So I'm going to take a 10-minute break, or is there a specific time that we're breaking? Oh, okay. Okay. 10-minute break. We'll come back and do another set of demonstrations. Thank you.